All right, everyone. Welcome to Monday Message / my podcast. We're kind of doing a 2-in-1 here. And my second interview is with Brittany McCall. Brittany McCall is not only a lady boss herself, but she's also YFFR's executive assistant. So the purpose of interviewing you today, Brittany, is not only to introduce you to the big extended YFFR family and teachers and supporters, because we'll talk about this a little bit more about your role, but you are actually kind of my, what do we call it? My avatar. And I think most executive assistants are. And so when people email me, sometimes they hear back from me, sometimes they hear back from you, but it's also in my own voice. So you and I have very tight communication, So yeah. I think that's really great for everyone to have transparency about how Yoga for First Responders functions as an organization, to really know our team and who are such a primary role in our team. I think it's great for everyone to get to know you. Brittany does have a dog that also is trying to participate in our interview, and her dog's fantastic. Her dog, Hugo, came to our fundraiser last weekend, so he's also a staple of Yoga for First Responders. So not only introducing you to the YFFR extended family, but also I want to give some insight to maybe others who are in positions of doing a grassroots organization about the importance of structure in an organization, structure of how the operational team works, and also structure of everyone's time and boundaries with time, which is why having support and team members to delegate things to are so important. And for those who have been following Yoga for First Responders since the very beginning, knew it just as first there was just me. I mean, honestly, it was just me teaching. And then as we started to have more opportunities and have more trainings, we needed to up level our operational maturity, bring more people on who are experts in different areas, et cetera. And so we had Jeff Masters come on as one of our lead instructors. We had Nikki Bustos come on, who is our chief training officer now. And now we have an executive team of 10 people. And this structure of even these 10 people, they have time that needs to be structured as well. I think to create sustainability of an organization means personal sustainability as well as professional sustainability. And so I'm sure a lot of people have seen us grow and develop, and I want to sort of bring everyone in to how we're continuing to develop and create a sustainable organization by structuring our time and certain responsibilities and job roles. And that starts with you, Brittany. So thanks for talking about what you do with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
And actually, this is just coming off of our meeting. So what Brittany and I do, just to give some insight for anyone who is looking to bring on sort of an assistant role or an intern, is that Brittany and I have standard meetings Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's to go over emails and correspondence that have come in. And we kind of talk about how we want to approach different situations. And so we had that meeting, and now we're tacking on this interview right after that. So I want to start asking you questions kind of about how you got into the position that you're in, because you are actually a physical therapist, right? That was your trade for a long time. And now you're in a position of a virtual assistant, and you actually have your own company for being a virtual assistant. So tell us a little bit about where you came from and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, so I went to grad school, got my doctorate in physical therapy, kind of practiced for about 2 years part-time. Really enjoyed what I did. I really enjoyed helping people, but there was still something that didn't make it the true job that I wanted. So following a move halfway across the country from Iowa out to the Seattle area, I decided to make kind of a career change. I had actually met a virtual assistant for another physical therapist who they were in 2 different locations. A lot of people don't know what it means to be a virtual assistant. In fact, when I heard about it, I was like, what is this? I've never heard about it before.
Actually, do a little branch off and tell us about what a virtual assistant actually is. Because a funny story is when I first heard virtual assistant and like someone suggested it to me,
yeah,
I assumed it was like an AI, like like a Siri. Like I thought it was going to be like a Siri thing, like Siri, email this person, and then and that's why I didn't want to do it, because I thought Siri would actually email an ex-boyfriend instead of a police chief or something. So tell us a little bit about what a VA is.
Well, hopefully a good VA will not be emailing your ex-boyfriend on accident. But so the virtual part of it just means that I work remote. Most of my clients I have actually never met before, besides, just online media, whether it's Facebook or through an actual connection. I've had people refer other people to me as clients. But then the assistant part of it can take on kind of different roles for each person. So for one of my clients, I am just updating their website, getting some stuff online, kind of just like a simple one project, and then I'm done. For other people, it is more kind of business manager, taking care of the social media. And then for YFFR, what that looks like is actually going through all the emails, and it's more kind of like an executive assistant. But instead of the executive part of it, you just fill in the word virtual, because I'm not in an office setting. You can tell I'm just sitting on my couch at home. And I just help with pretty much whatever is needed to free up the business owner to best serve themselves as well as their company and the people, that they interact with. All the people that I work with have that very personal interaction with people, but they need to free up their time to best get done what they need to get done. So I kind of take on an additional part of them so that they can do the bigger things.
I think that's what's really important, and what I really liked when I was first looking at your material when we were interviewing you to come on, is that I think, and I know this happens when I'm dealing with companies or organizations, everyone only sees one aspect of the CEO's responsibility, or anyone's responsibility, only the aspect that person deals with specifically.
Yeah.
Not realizing that's probably one of so many other things that this person is responsible for, and they really, think it's only this one item. And so a lot of people didn't realize, or don't realize, that I was unable. So my role of CEO, like you're saying, where I thrive, my expertise is building YFFR curriculum for our trainings, for our academies. That's where I should be putting my focus. And I couldn't, because I was being my own executive assistant.
Mm-hmm.
I get dozens of emails daily, and it takes all day to reply to them, set meetings, and I was being my own EA, and therefore couldn't get to what I actually do. And so that's what I really loved about when you showed me that presentation material about what you do. What really caught my eye was to free up the time of the executive, of the CEO, to do what they do best, do what I'm here to do. And we've certainly done that. We're getting better, and we have to continue. I think everyone has to continue up leveling themselves. So we've even noticed our one-on-one meetings used to be an hour, and now they're getting shorter and shorter because we're getting tighter and creating new policies and procedures. So I think that's a huge element of it, is taking away the stuff that I don't need to be doing, that you can do probably even better than I can, because you can give more attention to it,
Yeah. And what I kind of said about like being part of you is that, people will still have the capability to interact with you. There's just an extra step. So even scheduling meetings, if someone emails for a meeting, I'm able to schedule them in that time, because that's not something they need you to do. I can go in, get them scheduled so that when they are able to talk with you, it is the most efficient, effective time, in that you can truly focus on them as a person versus being so overwhelmed with all these other tasks of, I have to schedule this person, schedule that person. But instead you can have that freedom and that openness to give that person the time that they need.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I'm definitely feeling that. And as you know, we get a lot of inquiries for working with people and working with other organizations. And some people are great fit and some people are not quite a good fit. And we need that initial sort of meeting with those people to see if they're in our same realm and vision and values. And what I find really valuable is you get to know YFFR more, and you're going to be at our training in Seattle, is that you can have those initial meetings, almost like a gatekeeper, that you can basically inform our team, hey, from the meeting I had with this person, they're on track and would be a great strategic partner, or this person is not holding our same mission or values, and then we can really get to business, when we take the right people and we can really focus all our time and attention on them. So I'm feeling that already. What would you say are qualities that an EA really needs, or a VA, a virtual assistant, to be most effective? And I ask this because I've run the gamut with this, and I started with interns. So we'll get to this later about if someone isn't at the point to either be able to pay for an executive assistant, what can they do to kind of start to build up to that? I had interns, and they're great. I love all my interns. So if you're listening, interns, I love you. They were all fantastic. They all became friends of mine in the organization, but they also had school and everything else too. So for someone who wants to be an intern or wants to be a volunteer for us or an executive assistant, what are like the top 3 to 5 qualities they have to have to accomplish the goals that you just listed?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, you have to be able to communicate. Especially, the YFFR team, we're all located in different places. We are able to come together for a weekly meeting to make sure that everybody's on the same page. But even beyond that, if we're not communicating throughout the week, then things just don't get done the way they need to get done, or things get lost along the way. Communication sometimes is face-to-face, but it also is, writing something down. So whether it's in a project management system, or if it's even just emails or text or whatever it is. But if you aren't open to say, hey, I don't know what to do about this, then you're never going to learn, as well as being able to speak up and say, okay, I think there might be a better way for us to do this, not being all high and mighty of, I know everything that's best, but instead coming at it as, hey, have you considered this instead of that, in addition to being able to communicate, being organized is a huge part. And I say I love to organize things. I used to work in a mailroom, and honestly, that tedious task of organizing the mail was something that brought me joy, and making sure that things are done in a way that they won't get lost, or that there's a nice path of things, as well as trying to make things more efficient. So things that, we've been doing one way that could be done another way, or say somebody needs to take some leave for a health concern or something else, the ability for someone else to step into that position and know what's going on. I think the third big thing would be flexibility. Tasks and obligations will change with time, whether it's your own personal outside obligations that you have going on, or even within the business of, okay, we've done this, now we need to move on to that. As trainings get closer, what you need to focus your time on kind of changes. And so having that flexibility to say, okay, I was working on this, now I need to work on that. Or maybe this week I need to say, okay, I can't focus on, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, so I talked with Nikki, our training coordinator, and we kind of discussed, okay, she had some outside things going on with her daughter, wasn't able to book some of the travel stuff. So then she approached me and said, hey, could you do this for me? So I had to look at my schedule, see, okay, where is the priority at? Yes, I can do the travel because that is high priority for us. But that means then that I can't get back to reaching out to a media source and saying, okay, we can't put our energy there because there's only so much we have to give.
Everything you said is not only great qualities for an executive assistant. I see that as great qualities for our whole operational team, and as for me as a leader as well. Especially the flexibility part. We definitely are on the road, and wife of our people who've been with us for a while can see this change and develop strong structure, systems, policies, procedures, SOPs. That's super important. And then within that, you have to be able to go with the flow because life happens, right? So the more organized you are and the more you communicate, which is the things you mentioned, the easier it is to go with the flow and be flexible. I think without communication and the organizational structure, life that's going to throw us all curveballs personally and professionally will create chaos and will create stress. Mm-hmm. So if we create that structure, then we can kind of start to move within that structure. So those are great qualities of an EA, and I think really of everybody,